A week before Christmas last year, my family lost a very special member. He was our beloved dog, our best friend, our furry companion, and his name was Mac. He was the best dog a guy could ask for, and so this video will be dedicated to him as we explore the fun and wonderful moments of his life. And I know this contradicts what I said at the end of my previous video, that I would focus on a lighter topic this time. But damn it, I love that boy and he deserves to be remembered. So, with that said, let's delve into some of the highlights in the life of Mac. So my family wanted to get a dog for a long time. Most of our cousins and relatives all had dogs that they let me and my siblings play with. And we all have fond memories of playing Nintendogs on our Nintendo DS's growing up. So it was no surprise that eventually we want a real dog of our own. It wasn't until we moved to Christchurch, however, that my parents finally relented and decided to get us one. I remember the day Mum brought him home for the first time. She opened the passenger door to her car, and out popped this cute little black puppy, and his name was Mac. He was a purebred Labrador from Palmerston North, and I fell in love with him, as did the rest of the family. In terms of personality, Mac was a perfect family dog. He was full of energy, didn't get too rough while playing, and he usually never showed any aggression towards anyone. So how'd we come up with the name Mac anyway? Well, originally Mac was going to be short for something like Macadoodle, Macmillan, or McTavish. Not to be confused with the captain from Call of Duty. We didn't go with any of those options and decided Mac was enough. So Mac joined the family and everyone loved him right off the bat. Well, almost everyone. See, before we got Mac, we already had a cat named Hugo, who sadly is also deceased, and will get his own video at some point. Hugo did not like Mac at first, and would whack the shit out of him whenever he got into his personal space. Over time though, Hugo got used to the idea of having Mac around and started to warm up to him. They even slept together on the couch sometimes. So what were some of Mac's favourite things to do when he was alive? Well, for one, he liked to go for long walks and hikes, many of which I took him on because I was his primary dog walker. Most of them were just taking him to parks and various locations around Christchurch, but there were also really long hikes we would take him on in places like Wanaka and Lake Avamore. We would go on many cool hiking adventures together, from getting lost in the bush for 7 hours, to finding a wild seal in Kaikoura. He also really loved swimming. Anyone who owns a Labrador knows that they love water. But when Mac was still a puppy, he was a bit hesitant to go swimming for the first time. So, what was my dad's solution? Pick him up and yeet him into the pool. He was fine, he loved it. And since then, whenever we were near a pool, lake, or any large body of water, you could not stop that boy from going for a swim. Mac also has fair share of funny moments in his life, one of which I remember from when he was still a puppy. It was quite hilarious. So Mac was initially bred to be an outside dog, so when we got him for the first time he wasn't quite house trained yet, and this led to one or two incidents around the house. For instance, one night me and my family were watching The Chronicles of Narnia Prince Caspian together. Mac crawled behind the TV for about 10 or 20 seconds before coming back out. While we thought it was a bit weird, we didn't think much of it and just kept watching the movie. And it wasn't until about an hour or so later, after the movie had finished, that we discovered that Mac had taken a massive shit behind the TV. We all thought it was hilarious, except for Mum, who probably wasn't too thrilled to find that little present there. Oh well, dog's gotta do what a dog's gotta do, right? So yes, Mac had a long happy life. But sadly this was not to last. As he got older, our beloved boy started to develop some serious health problems. He began to lose his hearing, he became partially blind, and his hindquarters were becoming less steady and harder to balance. We tried putting him on various medications and treatments to help keep him going, but it could only do so much. Then, it happened. Mum and Dad woke up one December morning to find that Mac's back legs had completely given out and he looks like he was in a lot of pain. He was quickly taken to the local vet to be examined, and after some time went by, the vet finally came out with bad news. They told my parents that Mac was simply in too much pain and discomfort to keep going, and that the humane thing to do would be to put him down. While it broke their hearts, they agreed it was the right thing to do. And so we had to say goodbye to our furry friend. I only just got home from work when Mum told me what happened via phone call, and I was devastated by the news. I was hoping he would hang in there a bit longer so I could see him one more time, and he could spend at least one more Christmas with us. But sadly, that was never able to happen. His remains have since been cremated, and our plan is to spread them into Lake Wanaka during our next family get-together, marking our final send-off to that lovely doggo. In the end, Mac lived to about 14 years old, which is a wee bit longer than the average Labrador. And while we are all greatly saddened by the loss of Mac, we are all happy that he did manage to live such a long, happy life, and we will always have fun and wonderful memories of our time with him to look back on. While I may get another animal sometime in the future once the grief is completely past, nothing will ever take Mac's place in my heart. So with that said, thank you for watching the video. Be sure to like, share and subscribe, and make sure you give your pets plenty of love and attention. Okay, I'll see you next time.